What is going on, guys? Sonic and the Bean Show here. Today we are looking at the brand new Super 7 Ultimates, SpongeBob SquarePants, and Sandy Cheeks figures. All I gotta say is, finally. I've been waiting for these for about almost a year and a half now. When they were first showcased, they kept getting delayed and delayed, which usually happens a lot with Super 7's Ultimates, but finally they have arrived officially, and I'm very excited to get into these. But I'm also a bit worried because I know these figures usually have some really bad QC issues, so hopefully there's not too many I run into. But enough rambling on, let's take a look at their packaging. We're actually going to start off with SpongeBob, so let me take Sandy to the side because these boxes take a ton of space. So let me put Sandy down there. But here is SpongeBob right here. Now what's also weird is that usually when you grab the Super 7 Ultimates, they'll have like a plastic bag over them. But when I took it out of the cardboard, it was just like this. No bag, anything covering it. So I thought that was really odd, but I don't know, maybe they're doing this for their recent releases now, I'm not entirely sure. But here is the slip cover. It just has, well, a massive picture of SpongeBob right there, which looks really nice. You know, I think the artwork right here looks really nice. You know, it looks really good. SpongeBob SquarePants right there, turning it around. You got the SpongeBob SquarePants logo right there, Super 7. And then, of course, the top, you got Ultimates. The bottom, so of course some more information, all that, the barcode, stuff like that. But let's go ahead and take the slip cover off if I can actually. Alright, there you go. Alright, so here is how it looks without the slip cover, and look at that. That actually looks really nice. So you got all of SpongeBob's accessories. He's coming with interchangeable arms. He got like these bent arms right here, so I'm guessing you can't bend the arms, so that sucks right there. But you got like the fishing net, maybe it's all reliable. I see Gary, you got a head sculpt right there where I'm guessing he's blowing the bubbles, like the glasses on there. There's like a jellyfish, pretty nice. SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants. You got Super 7 up here, but then you got Ultimates. Bottom. Oh well, I think we've already covered that really, but I do like the art. You got, I got like that SpongeBob background theme all around the packaging. But you get SpongeBob right here. You do get a bio read if you want to pause and read. And now we got Sandy. So here is Sandy's packaging right here. So you just got a full shot of Sandy's face right there. You got Ultimate, the bottom, and then the side, SpongeBob SquarePants again. Taking it off, I'm gonna actually struggle with this. For some reason, I usually get these off pretty easily, but now I'm like struggling with these. But luckily, Sandy's was pretty easy. So here is Sandy with all of her stuff. So she's getting 3 interchangeable head sculpts. So that's really nice. I see her karate gloves right there. So that is nice. You see like an acorn. But Sandy Cheeks right there. Ultimates. Turn it around. Sandy Cheeks right there. You got the bio read, and yeah, so that's pretty nice. That's really nice. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and crack SpongeBob and Sandy out of the packaging and take a closer look. Alright, so the first figure we'll be looking at is SpongeBob. So I will say the sculpt on this guy is actually pretty decent so far. I do like the choice here for like the open smiling mouth right here for SpongeBob. That definitely captures the way how SpongeBob would look. You know, the wide eyes is pretty nice. I do like the holes for like the sponge. It's kind of like a divot. You can kind of feel it. Like it's not just painted on or anything like that. They actually did kind of like sculpt the circles, in there for the sponge really. But it does look pretty nice, maybe should be a little bit darker, but I think it's actually alright for what it is. I think what's pretty odd about this figure, and I think it's really just, I wish they had the outlines for SpongeBob. I know like a lot of toy companies don't usually do that for SpongeBob figures, but it would add a lot more to SpongeBob, because in the show he does have like these outlines for like his eyes or like the cheeks. Like the cheeks will have like the red lines around it, or the mouth too as well, or even the SquarePants. And I know that's really just in the cartoon, but I think adding that on the figure would make it a whole lot better, But the paint is okay in some areas, the white will tend to bleed around the eyes. The tongue you can see like the bleeding a lot. Well, it's actually coming from the mouth. The tongue's actually okay, but like the red paint for the mouth, it is kind of like bleeding around it, around to the mouth too. So it's not really that clean, but it's, you know, it's all right for what it is so far. The SquarePants is all right. I've noticed that for the socks, I don't know how they messed this up, but for here they have it as red and blue, but it's supposed to be blue and red. Like the blue's supposed to be on top, so I don't know how they even messed that up. So that's weird right there. But here's the back of SpongeBob right here. I find it odd that they got the license like right here. Like there's so much space right under here. They could have put it like here or whatever, but they just put it there. So I don't know why, but yeah, so that's weird right there. But that is you know how SpongeBob looks from front and back. But like I said, it's okay, but I wish the paint was a lot more like cleaner and, you know, maybe a bit more saturated, because this yellow is a little too light here. And maybe it's because a lot of my other SpongeBob figures are like a bit more saturated. Maybe that's probably why I'm used to that. I'll take this for example. So this is the Imagination meme SpongeBob statue figure. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for it. It was like maybe 20 to 25 bucks maybe. But look at the sculpt here with this and that. You know, like look at the difference right here. But you see what I mean? How the paint is a lot more like saturated. You know, and you know, I will say I also feel like this does feel a little too cheap. I don't think this is too bad, and I mean, this is a lot bigger, but you can see the difference with like the paint and the sculpt on these guys of what I mean. So yeah, side by side right there. Now for the articulation, it's a bit of a disappointment right here. So I don't know what's up with mine. I think SpongeBob's supposed to have like an ab crunch, because there's like I think it's like a double ball peg here, but look at this. I don't like, it's like I said, it's supposed to be an ab crunch. You know, you're supposed to be able to have SpongeBob like move, you know, like look up or look down really, but you're gonna get like this gap. Doesn't matter where, even if it's like slightly, it doesn't even look that great. But mine, I can't, there's something like, what is going on there, you know? And I guess I'll try to take it off. It's really, really stiff. I might actually have to do this off camera right here. Alright, so here's an example right here. So this is like a double ball peg, you can see. And you see how it moves back and forth. But when I shake it, it's not really like that loose. Like it's not going anywhere. I mean, it kind of is, you know, a little loose. But it's not as loose as I thought it was going to be, because it's not moving when I do this at all. But yet, when I pop it on to SpongeBob, like it just doesn't support the plastic piece. So I don't know what's going on there. I mean, maybe it's just mine. I hope it's just mine, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. And trust me, I am like putting force to see if it's fully on. That's exactly how it was when it was in the packaging. So yeah, that sucks right there. So you get the ab crunch, I guess that's what it's supposed to be. But you do get a hinge to the shoulder, which, it's, I'd say, I want to say it's about horizontal, but I don't think it's very close. Very, very close. I'm going to just say, yeah, alright, I think that's a lot better. So yeah, about horizontal. Unfortunately, there is no elbow joints, so that does suck. But you do get a full rotation in the arms, and along with a swivel to the wrist and a hinge right there. So you got that. There is no waist articulation either, so you can't really do any waist articulation right there. And then for the legs, kick up about here and then back about there. You can also swivel the legs, so you can do, I guess, some karate kicks or whatever with SpongeBob, even though you're not really going to be doing a lot of posing with this guy. And that's about it. There's no rotation to the ankle, no back and forth with the feet either. That's actually all you do. Yeah, that's the articulation for SpongeBob. That's, you know, a bit of a disappointment. I have a ton of figures that has this exact articulation with, like, you know, the arms, the wrist, and the legs, you know. I think even I think the Loyal Subjects one is where you can turn at the waist, and that's actually pretty good too. But yeah, that's the only articulation you really get there. So yeah, again, a huge disappointment. I mean, at least SpongeBob, he can stand somewhat. You know, it's going to be to a point to where you got to have him lean at a point to have him balance. But I mean, at least the guy can stand, so that's okay right there. Now, as far as accessories go, you are getting one extra interchangeable head sculpt where it's basically SpongeBob like blowing the bubble. And I actually like this. This actually looks pretty neat. And the glasses are removable, so you can take that off if you'd like, and maybe put that on the other figure if you want, or the other head sculpt, I would say, really. But I do like it, and it is really just one solid piece, so you can't really like flip it or anything like that. It is the way how it is. Now, for the hands, you are getting like these pointed finger hands, these gun shooter hands, I'm guessing. And then you have one where like the elbows are bent, but it's more of like a gripping hand for like the jellyfishing net. And then you have ones where SpongeBob is holding, well, like the bubble container, then he's like blowing the bubbles really with the other hand. Now, the hands for where the bent elbows are, you can actually interchange those and put those on other, like on, you know, like other hands. So you know, you can do that, which is pretty cool. But the one that's holding, you know, like for the bubbles, you can't really change that at all. I would have liked like fisted hands, but you know, it's whatever, I guess. You are also getting a jellyfish, which is pretty cool. So you can like, you know, throw that into the net. And for the other accessories, you are getting a Bubble Buddy, which is pretty cool. So I do like that a little bit. I mean, it's cool that they added Bubble Buddy. It just doesn't look like a bubble. It just looks like a glass a glass Bubble Buddy or something, like a glass buddy. I don't know, like it just doesn't look like him. I think like a semi like transparent with maybe like some purple into that like would have added a lot more, because this just doesn't look the best. And they made him super small, like he's just not, it's just not the right scale for SpongeBob. I don't know why I don't know. But you also get Gary and then his food, which is really nice. But Gary is like gigantic, man. I don't know why Gary is so big. Like his shell is huge, and the eyes are like stuck together, so they're not really like separated. And there's no articulation really. It's just one like solid plastic, really. Like, you know, like it's just one solid plastic. So again, these you can't really remove these. This is all just one sculpt, and pretty much that. I tried to see if I can have them like have him on top of SpongeBob. And since he's, well, okay, I think I actually got it this time. So yeah, it's possible. But there was times where SpongeBob kept falling forward. But you can have it, you know, happen. You want to have him like this way. Voila. So it's still standing, but you know, it doesn't really look maybe the best from this side. Maybe, I don't know. This is probably the best I can do. It, you know, from this, in certain angles, it looks okay, but it's not fully centered. Like, I want it to be like right here, but it wants to move back. And it's not like there's like a wire or anything like that. It just, you just have to, this is just the best you can do, you know. That clear piece inside looks really odd. I don't know why they added that in. It just doesn't look the best. But yeah, I can't really seem to get this centered, so that sucks. See how the mouth is right here, but yeah, so this is like the best I can do. See how I want to have it like, yeah, this is probably the best I can do right here. But yeah, it was a little like finicky. I was trying my best to do that. And finally, the next figure we'll be looking at is Sandy. Now, I gotta say, the Sandy figure is actually pretty good. They actually did a pretty good job with the sculpt here on Sandy. Let me actually take the helmet off, which is removable. I do like that. But let's actually get in a little bit closer. But I really do like the way how the Sandy figure is. And her articulation is definitely a lot better than... I mean, of course, her articulation is going to be better. There's not a lot you can do with the, you know, with the design of SpongeBob. But Sandy's articulation is actually pretty good. Now, there's a huge problem I have with this figure that we will get into, but Sandy is actually pretty decent. I really like the sculpt here on Sandy. The paint could have been better in some areas, like especially like right here where her arm is. Like the blue paint around here, like it goes around, but then like right here it just stops for whatever reason. Same thing with this arm. Like, I don't know what's up with that. They also could have added like the black outline for like the zipper, maybe add like the line for her mouth too. But you know, other than other than those nitpicks, I really like the figure a whole lot. Really, maybe the tail could have been a bit bigger. I think the tail is a bit too small right here, but I really do like this figure a whole lot though, and you can actually take the tail off, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, they did pretty good with Sandy. That's all I gotta say. Now, the biggest problem I have here with this figure is her helmet. So this is kind of weird. You would think like for a helmet there would be a thing where once you put it, you place it on, there would be like a clip to kind of tuck it in. Well, there's not that. It's just placed on there. I don't know if that's just mine, but it's just, you just kind of place it on Sandy and then it's just there. And the problem with this is no matter how many times, if I want to pose her around, you see how it'll wobble back and forth. So if I want to pose Sandy a couple of times, that will probably wobble. I can't really move it because the dome just wants to just move around because it's just there. So that does suck, unfortunately. I don't know if it's like, I mean, maybe it could be warped over here or something. I don't know. I tried to make sure. I tried to stretch it out. I think it's fine. It seems centered to me. It does suck if you were gonna do not articulation, but like stop motion. Because if you wanted to like turn her head, you would have to like, you wouldn't be able to really do that with this on. So yeah, that does suck that this is just like that. But you know, I guess it's cool for just if you want to just display it, of course, really. But yeah, that's probably my only biggest problem with this figure. But for the articulation, it's not too bad. So the head, of course, it is really just on a ball peg. So you actually get some nice movement there. It is a bit loose, I will say that. It's definitely a lot loose, but you can have Sandy look up like about here, look down like that. You know, you get like your tilts, full rotation right there, right? Not too bad. Now the arms isn't the best. If you want Sandy, there, you know, there is actually a hinge right there. It's like not a lot really. I wanted to have Sandy's arms a little bit to her sides, but this is probably all you're gonna get unless you like, you know, bend at the elbows. But this is as much as you're gonna get. But for a hinge to the shoulder, it's well, it's about, well, yeah, I think I would say it's definitely like over horizontal. So it's not too bad. You do get your single jointed elbows, so that's nice. You get a swivel as well, along with a swivel to the hand, and then a hinge, which it's okay. Could have been a little bit better, but you know, the scope of the arms isn't gonna allow too much right there. Now for the hips, there actually is a swivel. I didn't even realize you can swivel the entire leg like that. I don't think there's supposed to be like a crunch for Sandy, because I can like do this, but when I do that, you're kind of getting like this weird thing right there along with the front. So I don't think you're really supposed to do that, but now I gotta straighten it out a little bit. But you can have her kick forward about here, back about there. You do get a boot rotation right there, and then this toe pivot right here. This one's pretty stiff. Let me try this one. Maybe this is, yeah, they're both pretty stiff, but this is probably what you're gonna get right there. So yeah, that's pretty much that. Of course, no ankle rock or anything like that, but yeah, pretty much yeah, that's the oh, the tail, of course. So the tail, you do get like a little hinge right there, and then a rotation. Almost forgot about that. Now for Sandy's accessories, she is getting 2 extra interchangeable head sculpts. There is one that I guess you can use for her to, you know, do karate or like use her lasso if you want. And then you have the, I guess like the fishbowl, you know, the goldfish sort of costume that she wore in the Halloween episode. I think that's what this is based off of. For the hands, you're getting like your gripping hands for like, you know, like the, I think this is actually for the guitar, but the ones for like the pegs, I think that's usually for the acorn that you can use, and then the lasso that you can use. And then of course you have her you know, her karate gloves, which is really cool. That's very iconic right there. Moving on with that, of course, she has to come with her lasso, so that's really cool. It is actually a separate piece, so you can take you know, like the circle part or whatever, you know, like the rope that's making like a circle, really. You can actually take that part out, so that's actually really cool. And then you got like the acorn, which is really nice. You got the rocket from, what was it, like Sandy's Rocket was the name of the episode, I can't remember. So that's really cool. You can actually take the flame off of that too. Now for the other accessories, of course, you are getting like her guitar and then the hat. Here's the thing, so I've noticed that, you know, Sandy comes with her, you know, her karate gloves, really, but where's SpongeBob? I just realized that. I was looking at her accessories and I seen this, and then I looked back at SpongeBob's accessories. I'm like, wait, so SpongeBob doesn't even get his, you know, his karate gear, like the hat or the gloves. He doesn't come with that. And another thing I've noticed is he's actually missing a lot of stuff, actually. Not like a lot, but like things that you would expect for your SpongeBob figure. Like, he doesn't come with the Krusty Krab hat, you know, like his uniform, really. He doesn't come with the hat. He also doesn't come with like a spatula or a Krabby Patty, at least. Like, they could have gave you like a plate with like a Krabby Patty on there. So it's just things like that where it kind of like just clicked, and I'm like, wow, SpongeBob is missing some main accessories here, you know. I'm just gonna move these to the side right here, but here is Ren and here is Stimpy. So I thought that would be pretty cool, adding like all four of these guys together right here, just so you guys can see where these scale with the Ren and Stimpy figures right here. Anyways, guys, that is going to wrap up this review on the SpongeBob SquarePants and Sandy Cheeks Ultimates by Super7. Honestly, man, they're not really that great to me. SpongeBob ended up being the biggest disappointment for me, but Sandy, on the other hand, I think she's pretty solid. Again, my only biggest complaint is the dome that just doesn't fit right on her head, but she does have solid articulation. She stands pretty well, and I do like her accessories, you know. I think they're pretty great. I just feel like with SpongeBob, there was definitely room for improvement, and the plastic just feels very cheap too on this figure. So I'm bummed out on this release, since this was supposed to be like the, you know, the ultimate SpongeBob figure, I guess. But there is another contender that could be an ultimate SpongeBob figure, which is the Good Smile Nendoroid SpongeBob, that I'm very excited about. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the review, and I will definitely catch you guys in the next video. Take care, my friends.